Good evening and welcome to the St. Petersburg By Night podcasting network. Tonight we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Don't Get Caught.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome to the St. Pete by Night Twitch channel, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game set in the world of darkness. We play Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name's Crafty Mirage, also known as Nikki. You can find me on all social media at Crafty Mirage, and I am one of the storytellers here at St. Pete by Night. Make sure to check out St. Pete by Night on all major social media platforms. We're on Twitter, also known as X. We're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But you should check us out on our website, stpetebynight.com, where we have our city map, our storyteller profiles, and our one-of-a-kind threat meter, as well as a comprehensive guide on how our dice bot works. If you aren't already a subscriber here on Twitch, you should go ahead and hit that follow button and catch up on all of our past episodes. And if you're interested in playing with us, come join our Discord server and be a part of our amazing community. Today we are playing Don't Get Caught, one of the many chronicles here on St. Petersburg by Night. Let's introduce our players. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Izumi. I play Avery the Bruja.
Hey, my name is sorry.
Okay.
Hey, my name is Judikael, and I'll be playing Gwendael, the Frenchy gangrel.
Hi, I'm Krazaz. I'm playing Rex Elias, Nosferatu.
Hey, I'm Jay. I'm playing Valerie Monet, Ventrue, who is currently going through it right now.
Last we left off, our coterie, after getting some personal errands done, went to answer the summons of the Baron Sebastian de Leon of Tarpon Springs. He called them over where they walked in on a very interesting scene of him confronting one of his drug runners about the $50 million worth of cocaine that was seized by the Coast Guard off the shores of St. Petersburg and sent to a facility south of the Anarch and Neutral Territory border. The drug runner was then shot in the head and never to be seen from again as Marcos, Sebastian's ghoul, pulled him out of the scene. The coterie then caught up with Sebastian, filling him in on the situation with the White, and to which Sebastian gave some good advice on how to deal with it, and also re-upped his blood bond to Avery. He also seized possession of Gwendael's ghoul, Nyx, after Marcos had reported feeling a little disrespected by Gwendael in a previous phone call that had taken place while the Baron was away. The coterie, after catching up and doing what they needed to do and getting the advice that they needed, started to leave the spa and resort. And Valerie was confronted by a sight that she hadn't seen in a long time. The sight of her father. And that is where we're going to pick up our scene.
And last I remember, he called me out by name, correct?
He did call you out by name, and he is still making eye contact with you as he stands by the reception desk of the Tarpon Springs Resort and Spa lobby.
Moment just kind of pure just surprise and shock on her face. And then eyebrows furrow as she just immediately looks, just trying to hold back her anger as she's going to start quickly speed walking over there and trying to walk to the desk as she just, what are you doing here?
Now, Valerie, as you approach your father, you can see that he still retains that he hasn't aged a day since you've seen him. But on that same beat, he looks absolutely wrecked. He has dark circles under his eyes. He's a little bit gaunt. And actually, Rex, you seeing this man, the way he looks is very reminiscent of Nate and how he looks when he hasn't had something that he needs to feel somewhat good. But Valerie, your father looks at you. You can see that he's wearing khakis and a polo shirt, indicating, and it has a case of golf clubs next to him, and indicating that he was just here for pleasure more than anything, and with no agenda. And he looks at you. He's just like, I haven't seen you in years. And he just looks around awkwardly, sees the group you were with. How are you?
Valerie, who is this?
And I'll look back as no one of importance. I look back to him as I say, you had your opportunity to visit, to see me. But why do you care how I do now? Why are you here?
I was here golfing with some business associates earlier today, but I had heard that you disappeared.
That what Agnes told you?
She said that you needed some time away.
You even think to question that? You think to try and come and contact me, try and find me?
She said that you were fine. She said that you were doing okay, that you just needed to get some time alone and to explore everything that you are now.
That I am now?
Well, yeah, you're better off now, aren't you?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
She gave you a gift, Valerie. She gave you an opportunity that no one else could have gotten. Like, you're special. She said as much, that you were special.
Just kind of stone-faced right now, just look of just absolute disgust at him. Just special. You knew what I was getting to. You knew what you put me to.
She said that she wanted to reward you with something that you could never get otherwise. She wanted you to achieve great things.
Just looks, just like trying her hardest to hold back, just going into him, but just kind of exhales sharply as she said, "Where is she now, huh? Still back in Tampa? Did she send you down here?"
No, I didn't even, again, Valerie, I didn't even know you were here. She's back, she's back across the bay, yes, she's been busy with work. I haven't, and you see him start to scratch his hair a little aggressively. I haven't, been able to see her for a few days, though, but, I ask about you and she says that you're doing fine. I just thought that you two were keeping in touch.
Just kind of sit there thinking for a moment as she going to stare him in the eyes, and for a moment kind of gates off a little bit before she kind of steals her resolve again, as she's going to say, "No, we have not been in contact for a little bit now. I don't associate with her anymore."
Valerie, honey, you can't just say you can't just turn your back on business partners like that. She is someone who can give you and help you and give you many great things. She's able to give us things.
Us?
She gave you...
You? Give you something? You don't think I know? The look in your eyes, the desperation? She's got you on the tap. You're pathetic, you know that? Relying on her? Giving me away to her?
She gave you things that I couldn't give you. She gave you time to achieve more than you could now. She gave you a gift that can keep you from that from happening to you. You don't have to end up like your mother. Neither of us do anymore.
Dare speak of her to me. Don't you dare. You gave me away because you couldn't be bothered to do anything with me, to actually raise me, so you sent me away to people who would. The people who would use me.
I did what was best at the time, Valerie. I did what I had to do to make sure that you had a long and valuable life.
Did she even tell you what I went through? What I've done with her? What we actually did?
Sweetie, I'm not at liberty to know the things that you all do now. I just follow orders. And maybe one day she will be gracious enough to allow me to join your ranks as well.
You're so good at following orders, then follow this one then. I'm going to look him in the eyes. I'm going to use memorize to say, get on your belly like the worm you are.
Okay, do a rouse check.
Yep. Get a little hungrier.
Okay.
All right, I gotta remember the roll actually. Ooh.
It is...
It's been some time.
It's okay. Well, he's at a dice penalty currently, so you have to...
It's manipulation plus dominate. There you go.
You just have to beat a 2.
Let's see, 3. I got 6 total here.
6 total. Yeah. He you look him in the
Oh,
eye.
no, not 6 total. I meant 6 dice. Sorry, I got 4
6
successes.
die. 4 successes? All right, easy enough. Yeah, you see him immediately get everyone. You all see this man get down on his knees and then lower himself to lay on his stomach on the ground.
Don't you think you're going maybe a tad too far right now, Valerie?
I bet Valerie's just gonna turn around. Did I ask for your opinion? This is not your business.
Okay, cool. And Avery's just gonna like peace out, like whatever.
Avery walks out the front door. Gwendael and Rex, this man is on the ground. Valerie's towering over him.
I'm going to ask again. Valerie, who is this?
Was he your father?
He was, not anymore.
Is he going to be a problem in the near future?
As I look down to him, he's too pathetic to actually be an issue, too spineless to do anything. And I'm going to look at him again as I'm just going to say, get the fuck out of here before I do something to you.
He slowly gets up to his feet. And you see him shaking just a little bit. But give me a wits and insight, Valerie.
Oh, my favorite roll. This is all hunger. Let's go. Two successes.
You see that he is very much intimidated and scared of you right in this moment, but you also notice in his eye just a slight bit of pride. And you see his shaking hands go to his pocket, pull out a card, and just leave it on the counter. And before he starts collecting his golf clubs, if you need anything, that's and he starts avoiding your gaze. That's my number. And he just starts walking towards the front, where Avery, as you're walking out, you see a very, very nice, very expensive Mercedes Benz pulling up and the valet getting out of it. The man that was in front of Valerie, you see him rushing out of the building, and you see him tip the valet guy $20 as he receives his keys. The valet puts his clubs in the trunk, and he starts heading towards the driver's seat. He catches your eye, though, Avery, and sees you and just dips his head respectfully before heading into the car and driving away.
Interesting.
Imagine, like, inside, Valerie just, like, while he's walking off, just kind of looks to Rex and Gwendael, just say, let's just get the fuck out of here. We go figure out about the next shit.
Yeah, we do have some work.
Tonight was certainly a night. Let's go.
So,
Yes.
you all start heading outside to retrieve your cars. Avery, you're the first to get to the ghouls where they are standing by the cars. You do see that Jared's clothes look a little roughed up. Like there's some dirt on his jeans. And you see that River is just trying to calm him a little bit because he looks a little riled up and irritated. And as you're approaching, Avery, you can hear Jared saying to River, so we just let those guys, why, we're just supposed to be okay with some guys just taking her and fucking smacking her in the face in front of, no, that's not cool.
No, that's not cool, and this is
Jared.
not alright.
Jared.
Jared looks over to Avery. What the fuck happened?
There's a few things that I was hoping that I didn't have to explain to you until we were a little bit more comfortable with our dynamic. But I'll explain it to you back on our way back to the house.
River is kind of looking a little irritable as well but he sees Valerie approaching and kind of recomposes himself and dips his head respectfully. Apologies for the outbursts, but I had to apologize, and I will apologize to you, Miss Wright, but I did have to hold Jared back from getting involved.
No, thank you. If he had, I couldn't imagine. I just watched. Nope, Jared, we'll talk about it. She's just like flustered, like still, like she's just trying to like calm down, get back to her like state of mind.
Mr. Gwendael, do you require your vehicle to be towed, or are you able to drive it yourself?
Well, thank you very much, but I will ride alone this time.
Of course. Miss Monet, I have the car ready to go. Is Mr. Elias riding with us or with Miss Wright?
Whoever wants to take me, I guess.
Avery, you had stolen Jared's car.
I did. I still have the keys, and I'm also going to be the one driving because.
All right.
I can drive you if you want.
You can ride with us, Rex. I don't mind.
Okay.
You have a choice.
Okay.
I was going to say it's going to be a little bit of an awkward ride with me, so.
All right. So, Avery and Jared will get into his car. Rex will ride with Valerie and River. And Gwendael, you are driving Nyx's car yourself. Now...
Actually, it's my car, but I let her drive
it's your
it
car? Okay.
sometimes, but, you
All
know.
right, but then you're...
Yes. This time, yeah.
All right, so you collect your car. The valet hands you your keys, Gwendael, and you all start driving. Now, Gwendael, you consider Nyx family. So as you are driving, you feel that rage inside of you of someone you consider a sister, having been taken away from you, having been assaulted pretty much. And you think back about how, because of how tense the situation was and because of Mr. DeLeon's mood, you being unable to speak up and speak in defense of Nyx. Unfortunately, because one of your touchstones is, I will protect my family no matter what the cost, you will have received a stain to your humanity, which we
So I cannot roll.
So a stain is not taking away a humanity. So what you're gonna do, I checked your sheet. You're gonna roll 2 dice, no blood dice or anything. You're just gonna roll 2 dice for a remorse check. A remorse check is to see if you feel guilt from the interaction. However, if you fail it, the beast will have felt no remorse and you will have lost a humanity.
So you do like standard roll?
It's just 2. So you're just going to do V roll and just do a pool of 2 dice. All right. You got 1 success. A single success is all you needed. You do feel the remorse of having left Nyx behind. You do feel it strongly. If your heart were still beating, you would feel the crushing grief. And you feel in the corner of your eye just a little bit of blood gathering there as you think back at the last vision you had of Nyx before you had to walk away, and her looking up at you pleadingly.
And I will grip very strongly on the
Steering
wheel. Yep.
Give me a composure, and this is gonna seem a little strange because usually you roll an attribute with a skill, but I'm gonna ask for a strength and composure check.
Oh.
Which that is a very good pool for you. It's a very large pool for you.
Oh yeah. My best pool so far. So. Okay. So is it like V, bro? No,
It's V roll.
Yeah. Okay, I just want. So it's resolve and then it's strength.
It's composure and strength.
Okay, composure. Yep. So it's going to be like 6, and then I tab, and then anger, and then 1. Go.
Excellent. 4 successes. So you are gripping the steering wheel very hard as you're driving back to the coterie haven, but you are able to hold back enough to not cause any damage to the wheel or break it with your supernatural strength. After all, you are a very strong gangrel.
Yes, I am. So yeah.
All right.
Could be problematic even for me.
All right. So you all drive. Is there any other conversations that the vehicles would like to have on their way back to the haven? Yes. Avery, we can go ahead and start with you and Jared in your car.
Yep. So Avery's going to drive because obviously Jared's a bit out of sorts. And she's been having to deal with this anger far longer than he has, even if it's, still not that long of a time. And on the way back, she's quiet for a second, and she's like, so I suppose I should let you know a ghoul's place in the grand scheme of things, according to most other kindred.
I'm basically a slave, aren't I?
Yeah. To most other kindred. Ghouls are property and not sentient beings with a mind of their own.
Yeah, River told me as much.
I don't think you're a slave.
I appreciate it. But, that was not fun to watch. And not be able to do anything about it.
If you had tried, if River hadn't been able to hold you back, you would have been right there with Nyx. And I probably would get in trouble for not being able to control my property.
Yeah, he said that the best case scenario, I would have probably been taken away with her and taught a lesson. Or worst case scenario, they probably would have shot me in the head right then and there.
I'm starting to see that our Baron probably isn't a guy to mess with.
Who is this guy?
If I told you he was head of the cartel, would you believe me?
Judging by the guys that came out? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the head of the cartel. He's an older kindred. He controls Tarpon Springs. He's my boss, in a way.
Is this why you wanted me for security?
If they find out about Chloe, it's going to be more than her being taken away.
They'll kill her, won't they?
And me, and probably you. Now, sorry.
Well, we better hope they don't find out about her.
Best case scenario, if they do, De Leon just uses her for blackmail against me.
That's the best case scenario. That's kind of fucked up, Avery. It's kind of fucked up.
Welcome to the world of Kindred, where everyone has an agenda and nobody's a good person.
Are you a good person?
I'm a monster.
You also have an agenda?
I think I have one forming, but it's not something in my mind twisted or nefarious as, killing people.
Well, whenever you feel up to letting me know what that agenda is, I'd like to be filled in and not left in the dark, please.
I'm still coming up with it. Things need to be hashed out. In my mind, Valerie doesn't think that I think before I act, but
in her defense, at least with me, how much thinking did you actually do?
When did we start talking on Tinder? Was it like 2 months?
2 months, but you didn't really have a plan, did you? When it came time, when push came to shove on doing this to me, you were kind of a little nervous.
Listen, I had a plan, and you were going to enjoy the plan. Trust me, you would enjoy it. I panicked though. Yes, you're right.
Thing that they tell you in basic training sort of scenarios and tense situations is you can't let yourself panic. You just gotta act.
I mean, I am very good at just acting.
So I'm gathering.
I had a plan for you. Beyond watch Chloe. I still do. But again, it is something that I need to hash out.
Alright. Well, I will do my best to keep knowledge of her non-existent for the most part, and will hopefully make sure that what happened to that next chick doesn't happen to her. Because I
Or do you?
Don't want to see that again.
Me neither. I don't think I get scared often. But tonight was one of those nights.
We're gonna move to potentially. Do Valerie and Rex have anything to talk about?
I mean, Valerie, probably most of the car ride, probably wouldn't say anything, just kind of keeping that stone face, but her, like she's doing that foot tap, she keeps in there. She seems like she's thinking a lot about something as she just thinks, or, kind of stays quiet.
I'd like to ask Crafty, did I know if he was actually wanting drugs, or was that just what he looked like?
You would know that because of Nate specifically, that he had the mannerisms and looks and appearance of an addict. Now, what he's craving, you have no idea. You don't know what his fix is, but he had the appearance of an addict because he was acting and looking much like Nate does.
Okay. I guess I'll speak up. I don't know if you noticed, but he was definitely in withdrawal of some kind. For drugs, that is. And not just an emotional withdrawal.
Not standard drugs. I am fairly confident to say that probably hooked on Vitae, probably a ghoul. I haven't aged since I saw him.
Makes sense, I guess. I did kind of expect you to speak up when when De Leon mentioned the whole leader thing. I hope you don't mind me taking that position.
I don't mind. It's not an issue. I'm currently, when it comes to title of leadership, it's a tricky situation. Part of my blood and myself obviously yearns for it. It's something I'm aware of. However, I don't want to be quite the leader here. I mean, obviously, Avery looks up to you more. Gwendael, I'm not entirely sure, but something I've learned about leadership that more often you have to gain or earn respect in some sort of capacity. You can't really lead someone who doesn't respect you, doesn't trust you.
That's fair. Look, whatever happens, I promise I'll get you something to satisfy whatever itch you have, if that's necessary.
It's not. It's just I did something I wasn't supposed to. As much as it kind of hurts to say, Avery was correct. I went too far. I shouldn't have done that. I've kind of fell into the nature again. Until I can get this more under control, more worked on, it's very safe to assume that I won't be in a sort of leadership position. If I can't control my beast and those kind of urges, then I'm not in a good position to be a leader then.
If that's how you feel. As for your father, there was quite a bit to hear there that I had no context for. And I don't really care if you decide to share that or not. Up to you. I just need to know if at any time what happened there is going to be a problem for the rest of us. And if it is, to let us know how we can best, what we can expect, how we can best defend against it if there's something wrong, because it sounds like there was something bigger behind just a miserable man trying to talk to his daughter.
He is a ghoul to my sire, and there might be a chance that he will go back and report about all this to her, about where he last saw me. But considering the state that he was in, it's obvious that she hasn't seen him in quite some time, or at least long enough. So maybe we'll be in luck and that she has decided to drop him, or, more focused on other matters. But it could get back to her, and I could have wiped his memory, but it didn't feel right to I know I did what I did earlier, but I'm not going to memory wipe my own father. I can't do that.
Okay. Yeah, if there's something coming, just let us know. That's all I can say.
We'll see how things develop. I imagine at this point, I kind of pull out the card that he left behind. I'll just stare at it. I might. We'll see. I'll try to stay on top of this. We should stay focused on getting Nick's back right now. That's the most pressing matter.
Yep, numero uno. That's clear if as day.
You all arrive back at the coterie haven, River holding open the door for everyone as you guys park the vehicles and get on out. Once you're all inside, he shuts the door, locks it behind him, and starts moving to the kitchen to pour something to drink for Jared to have and to see to the needs of the kindred in the living room as they discuss matters. And the scene is yours.
Valerie would look to Avery and kind of after a moment, just Avery, I feel that I owe this to you, considering that you were right and that I did go too far, and I apologize for lashing out at you. I was not in a right headspace, and I feel that I at least owe that to you. And just kind of sits back on the couch.
Are you saying you were so angry you couldn't control yourself?
You almost sound like a bringer.
I know. That's why I am trying to own up to what I did, to the actions I took. I am not perfect. I can say that. Even I know that. But I figured I at least owe you that apology. You did try to not let me go that far, and I appreciate it.
Look, whoever that guy is sounded like he was someone from your past, right? He didn't look good. He must have done something to you, all right? But I'm just, after what we had just went through, I think all of our nerves are a bit on edge. I guess I've been where you were. I mean, it's a little bit more extreme for me, obviously, but I mean, I understood. And I guess I didn't want you to make mistakes that I did.
Well, the mistake already has been made. I went too far, and the worst part, I looked in his eyes and he looked proud. And when I saw that, it's just, everything kind of clicked. And yeah, I realized that I was being exactly what they wanted me to be, so.
Apology accepted.
And by the way, Valerie, none of us are perfect, so you fit right on.
I know that all too well, but I appreciate it.
But come on, don't blame yourself. You're a venturer. You're a private venturer. So, be one.
Or don't. I mean, either way.
Sometimes, just in the middle. So, between you and Avery.
I think it's Rex.
It's fine, whatever. Look, what's the plan? This is clearly a big fucking job That's what we should be focusing on. $50 million worth of fucking coke and whatever else, and it's probably split up between multiple warehouses. This is going to be an absolute bitch and a half to do if we're going to get Nick's back, if we're going to get back in good graces. So, anybody got any suggestions, ideas?
I got a couple people, one in the neutral zone, one from the Camarilla I could reach out to, kind of feelers to see what they say, advice-wise. But honestly, I'm not sure they could help us. At least not for anything we could afford.
Well, I could try to make some contact with some agency I worked with in the past.
I have a individual that I was going to get back in contact with that might be able to help. I'm not exactly sure their capabilities just yet, but I will try and set them to helping out in this regard.
And I've got some of my my fellow guys within the cartel, so we might be able to source something that will help us, at least a distraction of some kind.
Maybe your guy in the cartel could tell us how they knew where to get the drug or to intercept.
I mean, it's all DEA controlled warehouses, so we'll have to see.
You know what would be useful right now? A tech-savvy ghoul.
That's the irony, isn't it? What most important time that we would need her, we don't got her, and she's the prize.
Does De Leon forget that we're all fledglings?
Nope.
Well,
I'm sure he very well knows.
Why do you think he did what he did?
well,
I'm just saying, $50 million in drugs sitting at DEA offices for 4 nobodies to try to get. Like, what does he expect us to do?
Try our goddamn best, I guess. It's a trial by fire.
yeah, I mean, he's asking us to run a marathon without one leg.
Well, considering the fact that
More like baby legs.
Yeah, baby legs. Yeah, very good.
considering the fact that we were on an investigation trying to take down a white, and we did come face to face with a white, I imagine this will be a bit easier comparatively to that. After all, it's kind, and they are
Well,
A
let's
lot-
bring
It's kind
the-
with guns.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me, like, I understand it takes a few more bullets for us, but, like, they still hurt. Have you ever... They hurt.
It is.
Well, they
kind,
possibly... Yes, also they can have, like, military-grade weapons. So,
That-
grenade, that kind of stuff.
It's DEA. As long as that we aren't literally on the border of Mexico or something, I don't expect them to be that heavily armed. I mean, they probably got guns for sure, but armor probably at best some bullet vests. Maybe an
Yeah, could
armory
have-
at the site to get into gear if some shit starts going down. But just from initial response, probably not.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Maybe we should focus on the 25 million here that we can get to first.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
That's going to be, like, the easiest for us to do. Obviously, we're not going to stop working on getting the other stuff, but honest, I don't feel like trying to sneak into Camarilla territory, considering the stories I've heard. So that's going to be a little bit harder because we're going to have to do that remotely. Or if we can find someone willing to escort us, I guess.
I mean, De Leon has the connection. Yeah, that's true. It's probably the easiest thing we can do.
Yes. So we focus on the local drug. Yeah, the DA.
That's
Yeah.
definitely within our purview to do. And I was going to mention that thinking about definitely killing it should be the last option here. If even more so.
Oh yes.
If the DEA getting killed while easily could be blamed on gangs and whatnot still brings unwanted attention. So preferably we do this without alerting them, or at the very least we manipulate them using something like my abilities and Rex's abilities, being able to get you all in.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd go non-lethal anyway.
And I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't also think of ways for the other side as well. Rex, I think you're probably in the best position to figure out information from that, seeing as Nos are pretty close, regardless of sect.
Right. I'll have to see what I can do. There is a party like next Thursday, but I don't know how many people are going to be there, and I don't know how private it can be. So
I don't. I think parties should probably be left for parties, and business left for business.
We'll see. I mean, any vampire meeting is business at the end of the day, isn't it? We'll see.
Every vampire meeting, is everyone trying to bring something over on somebody else. You can't just talk and have fun.
Oh yeah, no. Anyway. But yeah, they are just kind. You did mention that. I'm thinking maybe something like tear gas or something. Just even if it's just a distraction, we don't have to breathe it in. We don't have to get disoriented. The only problem will be we'll have a hard time seeing through it. But so will they. So maybe we can do something like that.
We got our connections down in the co-barony.
Yeah, that would help. I think I might be able to source something
right
with my guys. We'll see about that first.
And what about very strong sleeping pills in their coffee?
I could do that, but that.
I mean, you're the pill guy, so.
Yeah, that would be a little hard, but I could probably still do it.
You know, something like what they use in the hospital, like codeine or that kind of stuff.
Maybe.
That would be a bit difficult.
We talk about drugging DEA officers.
So they're going to have a nice nap.
No, I'm all for it. I'm just wanting to make sure
you
I'm
asked for
keeping up here.
non-lethal, you know? So like a nice coffee and a nice night and a nice nap. So nice nap, sorry.
Well, I can probably source that on my own. Yeah. So, other thing, transportation. It is still $25 million worth of drugs. We are going to need something to carry $25 million worth of coke. We need to get a van or a truck or something.
So I may have contact. Actually, happen to be smugglers. And well, everything's in the name, so smugglers know how to smuggle. So
yeah, if we could get an unmarked van or a truck or something, that'd be great. Nothing too big, something small like a U-Haul or some shit.
Do we know where the DEA facility is?
A quick Google search for anyone who attempts to look up the DEA offices in the area will find that the DEA office in this area is in Tampa.
So Valerie,
Just staring at it for a second, just. Of course.
Tampa's like the worst Camarilla people, right? Like the ones bad, like worse than the ones down south.
Yep, that's them. They're the people down south. From what I've heard, they're like Camarilla light, watered down. However, those are of the one that you think of, Avery, the big blue bloods that rule their lands with an iron fist. Step out of line, you're getting the head chopped off, and they are not very welcoming to, especially anarchs, I guess.
Right. So basically, what I'm hearing here is De Leon gave us an impossible task.
And yeah, we're gonna have to.
So
figure
I
out how
can
to do it.
keep my goal. Okay, great.
It's an impossible task, and yet we will have to figure out how to do it. We can't let Nyx be taken, and the help that he may be able to provide if we do this is too valuable. We can't just back down.
We could try to call that police guy that we met at the station our first night together.
The beat cop?
Yeah, he's still a cop. He would probably know where DEA storage facilities are, or at least can find out. That's still evidence.
What's the ghoul that you just recently made, Gwendael? Couldn't you could probably ask them and get them to check out, or at least ask that.
You mean Avery?
Oh, it's you remember that
the coroner?
The coroner, yes.
It's more of a friend than a whatever.
I thought
Yes, she's not a ghoul.
Oh, not a ghoul. My mistake. But if
we are both Lord of the Ring fans, but for the moment, she's not a ghoul. Yeah.
Oh, good taste. But I will say, she could still ask if you are in good favor with her. You could make her just.
Well, we'll need to work on this file, but yeah. I could do that. If it means getting Nyx back.
Which one of us is more connected? I think it's Rex.
I mean, statistically, I have one influence in the cartels, and I have 2 contacts within the cartel.
So the cartel, who we're trying to get this for. Nice.
I could, like I said, I'll try and ask my associate, see if they can do anything. Whatever the case is, no matter what, we're not going to be able to go in there on even grounds. We're not going to be able to go in there with an invite. They'll never invite us unless. God, I pull out the card. Fuck. I could possibly get us a way in, but I could also be very well screwing us all over with this.
I feel like that's just everything that we've had to do since the beginning of all of this.
I mean, most likely, worst case scenario, they take me. Best case scenario, if we're not the best of the worst, we all die in this scenario. If it doesn't go according to plan. We could try and sneak in. They don't know how well we're going to do that in a Camarilla territory.
That's what I'm worried about.
So I can either take the chance of calling my father to get in contact with my sire to try and get us there. If I can get my sire to think I'm going to try and meet them to talk, or at least to possibly go back, they will most likely extend an invitation. But we would be walking straight into probably a trap of some sort. If I didn't show up, it would probably have horrendous repercussions for all of us. And even if I do show up, it probably will end badly anyways. So it's either, what do we think we could do better at? Sneaking into Tampa Camarilla territory, or escaping a bunch of ventures?
Ventures.
I don't think you're quite understanding the scale of this with how quickly you said that. It's not just a venture, it's who they have and the connections they have. And trust me, they have a lot. No matter
They
what,
do.
this is bad or bad. Whatever.
Well, it's
It's
serious
whatever-
business, and
Alright.
I think it's a lot. Do you think it's? I mean, could we really infiltrate Venture territory without them noticing? I mean,
No, we couldn't.
I don't think they are bad. You know, that bad.
I don't think we can infiltrate the Camarilla either. So basically, we're still at square one here. A bunch of
I mean-
kids not knowing
Well,
how to take on a heist of friggin' movie proportions.
River speaks up in that moment. This is also just your first couple of hours trying to think of a plan. You guys can take some time to reach out to connections that you do have and work on formulating a plan. You don't have to settle on one right now.
That is true. Most likely should give it at least some time, maybe a week or so that we can gather our information, gather our contacts, and see what they can provide us first, than sitting here trying to work with half, what ifs, what if the cartel can help us? What if my contact can help us? What if they can do this, It would be the best to try and see what we can do first. Have all the evidence in front of us.
I just wish De Leon gave us a better setup, more resources to take care of this.
right.
De Leon is most likely sent on this mission expecting us not to succeed. He seemed very petty, very quick to anger. He's not really known for mercy. In fact,
Well,
told you the
I
tales
think
of
I
executing
think in
cartel
English
members.
you have one word. He's a psycho.
That is a very accurate
That's-
assessment.
Not the word I would have gone with, but
He most likely assume we're not going to succeed in this, but we have no other choice but to. So
unless there's another way we can get Nick's back.
I doubt going against De Leon would be anywhere. I would rather go against the Camarilla than go against De Leon.
I'm not
Especially in his
saying
own territory.
I'm not saying
I'm
go
not
against them. I'm just saying
Use our connection. together.
the plan here is to get Nick's back. So if we could just maybe think of something else he'd want in exchange for her while still working on getting the drugs back.
Something worth more than $50 million worth of drugs.
Well, I
There's a
I
case
really,
to be made. There's a
You know
case to be
that's-
made that him taking Nick's away from us has crippled our attempt to get his drugs back.
Also, I will add that I do love Nyx as a sister, but I don't think that it should provide forbiddenness or to get his $60 million because yes, she's dear to me, but I think that I mean Does she worth? Is she worth? Is she? She doesn't
Is
worth
she worth
60
50 million?
Is she worth 50 million to you, Gwendael?
Well, she was more than that, but
All right, then that's all I need to know.
but business. If we are talking, business to business, is he going to risk his 60 million for Nix?
I imagine not him risking as much. It's lost either way, and I doubt he actually has anyone who would be dumb enough to actually go and try and do this. In fact, this most likely happened, Gwendael, is that he needed a group to go do this. He needed someone to be mad at. And unfortunately, you got the short end of the stick. The short straw. Now, he found a reason to get mad at you so he can send someone to go do this suicide mission because no one else would willingly do this. This is a terrible idea. But unfortunately, we don't have a choice.
He was angry tonight. What if we just, I don't know, give him a few nights and try to reach out again to talk a little bit more,
Well, maybe you can do that. I mean, I'm not saying okay. I don't. But I mean, since you have this connection, maybe you can, play with it.
No, okay, first of all, let's not misconstrue everything here. Like, I am very well aware that anything from De Leon when it comes to me is no such thing as whatever. I am.
What do you mean by that?
I am a distraction, or
That how you want to
So you think that your link to him would be more destructive than useful?
I think it'd be more destructive for me.
Right.
I am very well of the position I'm in here. So
in the end, would if you were given the chance, would you break this bound?
Tonight's probably not the night to ask me that.
Sorry?
So tonight's probably not the night to ask me that.
Right. I'll ask you next time. Sorry.
Oh, you're mute.
River speaks up regardless. We don't have a lot to work with right now. The first plan you come up with is not going to be the best one. Right now, it's too fresh. We need to regroup. You guys, and you need to reach out to who you know so that way you can formulate a more solid plan to get her back for Mr. Gwendael. I could reach out to some people as well, and we can see where we can spend the week getting to catching up with people, seeing what we can accomplish, and reconvene again when we have more information. Nothing bad is going to happen to Nix in the meantime. She's collateral. What incentive is there for you to do the job if the collateral is gone? So
That's very true.
let's just do what we do best, talk to people, and then see where we're at in a week.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep, that's the plan.
You all, on River's gentle urging, make the plans to reach out to the various individuals and connections that you have to see whether this impossible task that Mr. De Leon has set for you is something that you can actually surprise him with and achieve. And that's where we're going to go ahead and head into break. Thank you so much for watching us so far. We're going to take about 5 minutes to stretch, hydrate, use the bathroom, all that stuff. We're going to play the St. Petersburg by Night theme song, Vampire by Faith and Failure, and we will see you when we get back. Bye.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors: Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Farrah the Bard, Champs Tramps, Pantry Artista, Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpetebynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You can find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. Pete by Night. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/St. Pete by Night to help keep the stories rolling.
And welcome back. So, last we left off, our coterie made the decision to take a week to gather what information they could, and we're gonna go through the week and see what information we can gather. Gwendael, you wanted to reach out to see if you can figure out who heads the DEA office and where the drugs could be located, correct?
Yes,
All right.
correct.
So, from you, I would like to see. Just one moment. Let me pull up. There it is. Let me go. Are you using any of your contacts to try to help with this information?
Let me see where I can use. Well, I could ask. Yes. Yes, I will.
Who are you going to? What contacts are you utilizing?
I do have these criminal guys that are smuggling drugs, and that because they try to avoid DEA when they smuggle drugs, they probably know where
Okay.
not to go,
So.
if I may say so. So I have
Go-
like 3 dots.
Yeah. Okay. So, go ahead and roll me
Mm-hmm.
to find out your wits and streetwise, and you can add your 3 dots in contacts to the roll,
Okay.
which for you makes a pool of 7.
Thank you very much. And 1
And 1 hunger.
dice. Yes. So it's 6 successes.
6 successes with a crit.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's go.
So, with 6 successes with a crit, your contacts within the smuggling world, the maritime smuggling world has actually been very well informed of the incidents currently going on with the cartel and the drugs that got taken from them by the Coast Guards. Your contacts are able to let you know through some digging of their own and through some poking around that half of the drugs were taken to the main station in St. Petersburg, Florida. In the downtown area, they were taken to the evidence warehouse in the St. Petersburg precinct, and then the other half was taken to a precinct not far from Clearwater, just recently. After it was seized, they transported it south to Clearwater, so now all 50 million is very much near Camarilla territory, is either in or near Camarilla territory. With this critical though, you do find out and learn that there is plans to transport all 50 million back to DC in 3 weeks.
Oh, so we could intercept.
Yeah, your contacts are able to get this information, and they will base, and one of the guys you're more familiar with, who has like a boat that he uses to help immigrants smuggle themselves across the border. He looks to you and were you looking to potentially intervene with that?
Very potentially. Why would you be interested?
I mean, $50 million worth of cocaine, that belonged to a major ring, right?
It does.
I mean, if we help, maybe you put in a good word for us with the big guy. And then we can... I'm sure he's probably not using the guys that moved the goods last time.
We could do that, but you have to know that, like many people in our job, is not to trifle. To be trifled with. Is a very, very dangerous. So you might think I would do you a favor, but you have to carefully think about it. So, since you helped me, I will put a word for you, but I advise you to be very, very, very careful. Extra careful.
I mean, we deal with dangerous people all the time in our work, don't we? We risk the feds, we risk ICE, we risk everyone.
Well, I agree. So this is why I will put a good word for you, but since, I mean, you helped me, it is, it was my duty to tell you that.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate the warning. But I gotta take whatever work I can get, and a gig like that,
I know.
dangerous, is kind of sets you up for...
Yep, you're a big guy, but, from one friend to another, I had to warn you. But I will put a word for you.
I appreciate that, and he holds out his hand to shake you.
And I will shake his hand very firmly. You take care, okay?
You take care as well. Now, Gwendael, is there any other research that you were wanting to do to see if you can get an edge on any information?
I wanted to know who is running the operation.
Okay. For that one, you are going to have to do an intelligence and investigation roll.
All right. Can I use my specialty?
Deduction, no, because you are looking. You are specifically looking and not deducing, and not trying to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, makes sense. So I'm going to use my 6 dice.
Did you want to spend a willpower to re-roll your failures?
Yes, I will.
All right. With 3 successes, it takes you a little bit to find out exactly who's running the operation. You have to go through a lot of news sources, read a lot of articles to try to find out. But you do find that the DEA agent in charge of this particular investigation is a man by the name of Michael Glass.
All right. Michael Glass.
Yeah, and he has his office. He is currently set up and leading, finalizing the investigation in the St. Petersburg precinct of the Pinellas County Department.
Okay, so I will write down all information because Gwendael does not have ADHD like I do. So we will carefully write down everything to give a heads up to his fellow member of the coterie.
All right. Next, we're going to move on to Valerie, who wanted to get in touch with Aurelia, the kindred that he met that fateful evening when she was catching up with her touchstone. So you asked Aurelia to meet you every week because she doesn't have a phone, every Tuesday at that same coffee shop in case you needed her. On days you don't need to talk to her, you would just send River in to let her know that she can leave for the evening. But this time, you find yourself going into the coffee shop. It's late, it's a Tuesday night, it's not very busy. The individual who is currently manning the counter seems to be in the process of cleaning up for the night already, but she does look up as you come in, says, "Hi, welcome in. Can I get you anything?"
No.
All right then. If you need anything, just let me know. And you do see Aurelia seated nearby. She is wearing a band t-shirt with shorts and tights and some beaten up combat boots and a beanie. Looks like she dressed basically from a Goodwill bin because the clothes look pretty worn and the tights have a tear in them. But you see her just sitting at one of the tables holding a to-go cup with coffee in it, and she sees you and just meekly waves her hand at you.
I'll walk over and seat myself as kind of right now is a here this week. I can actually use your assistance, Aurelia. Seems like we can start paying back your debt here. Your transgression.
What do you need from me?
Well, first I need to know what you are capable of, what you can do. Because I need to know what you're best at so I can send you towards that regard. I don't want to send you to sneak somewhere if you can't sneak. What can you do? Can you tell me a little bit about your family, what type you are?
Well, I'm good at talking to people. They seem to really enjoy what I like to say. And they basically fawn over me whenever I put some effort into it. But my specialty is actually seeing things.
It could be rather useful for something else later. However, the current moment. Right now we have some difficulties going on with. There has been a rather large drug bust that you probably saw in the news.
I read it in the paper.
Well, currently we are kind of like leaning forward a little bit. We are currently working on something related to that issue towards getting that back. And right now we know. Wait, out of here. Do I know where? I don't think I wasn't told where it's located yet, right? I don't know where it's actually located yet.
No, you haven't.
Moment.
You haven't found out where it's located yet.
Let's say I'm currently unsure of where its location is currently. However, we need assistance in this matter. If you can try and find it, maybe, or if you could serve to help us with sort of distraction, maybe perhaps learning about some DEA officers, getting some connection with them if we find out where they are and who is manning the station. If you are so good at making people fawn over what you have to say, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
I mean, I don't generally go near police officers. I just generally stick around college kids because, and she just gestures to herself, she pretty much looks 21, if that. And I could ask around, I can see if I can find any cops to try to get information off of, but...
You said you're mostly around college students. Are you part of any sort of activist club, any sort of...
No. I hang around them when I need food. But otherwise I stick to myself. I don't get out much.
Alright then, if you can try and extend your connection to there. I have a potential idea if you have strong connections with college students, you might be able to rile them up, set up a little bit of distraction nearby. I know it doesn't take much for them to get mad over something or to want to make a little protest or, have something going on nearby to distract the DA officers. Or at least, have them go over to try and do some sort of, maybe protest is probably the best way to describe it, but we'll have to see where it's located.
It's kind of difficult to organize a protest against the DEA because they're about collecting really harmful substances, which the biggest hot button issue right now with college kids, from what I'm understanding, is equal rights for people of the LGBTQ plus community. That's kind of like what's got them riled up. And then just general police brutality stuff, but this area, there hasn't really been... Well, they are still kind of mad with the cops over the riot thing.
You don't have to be entirely honest with what you're protesting about. You don't have to say they're DEA. You could just say they're cops. But you perhaps work towards that. It will be... If you're... What family are you? You didn't answer that question. You have been skirting around that question for quite some time now.
I think I'm a Toreador?
I just kind of... You don't... It's like... Don't say that quite out loud here.
Oh,
you don't want to be...
Sorry. I think I'm one of them.
But you don't know.
Not really. I kind of ditched the person who made me. So I don't really know a lot. He was... yeah. And you see her kind of visibly curling into herself as she's talking about this.
It may sound surprising, but I understand that. I know how it feels to have your graders, the person that made you do terrible things. And I suppose I'll try my best to try and teach you some things, at least, or at least teach you a little bit about what's going on. If you can do this for me and help me out with this job, I can try and I'll let you stay in the area, let you feed with whatever you want, as long as you're not loud about it and being too obvious. And I'll try and teach you some things.
Okay. I'll get in touch with some of the college students then and see what I can do and what I can find out.
And then just give a nod, and I'll come check back with you in a week and see how your progress is.
Okay. Did you need anything else from me?
Would I happen to have, now I'm thinking about it after the fact, would I happen to have probably a burner phone or an extra burner phone?
It's very easy to buy burner phones now because you can just pick them up from Walmart.
Yeah, so I probably just pull out a burner phone, and I'll hand it over to her. And I'll just say, if you want to use it, you can. But I figured I'd at least give you something to try and get in contact with you, something that's easily disposable.
And you see her looking down at the phone, kind of like little confused and lost as she tries to figure. Is it a smartphone?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, you see her trying to figure out how to even turn it on. And she's struggling. She doesn't seem to know which button turns on the screen. But after a couple moments, she finally does hit the correct button. And she just... These are phones now?
How old are you?
Last time I held a cell phone, they flipped open and had an antenna. And then I had to go to sleep for a little while.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
But
yes,
yeah.
Things have progressed quite much. And you probably seen with all the college students what they're walking around with right now and all the crazy stuff they have going on.
Yeah. They didn't know what MTV was anymore. And that kind of made me sad because I used to listen to MTV radio. I used to listen to music on MTV and watch music videos and all that stuff.
I'm not quite as familiar with, some of the newer stuff as well. I've just learned, main thing I've learned about was this Twitch thing. Apparently people watch people play games or other stuff, which weird to me. I don't quite get it, but apparently is a big way for people to get famous, so.
That is a little weird, but I mean, more power to them, I guess.
But
hey, what happened to Kurt Cobain? Is he still making music?
No, he's dead.
Oh. Well, that's sad. Huh. Oh well. And she kind of just slumps a little bit.
Yeah. But if you need assistance, River can probably show you some things. River's more familiar than I am. I will come back. I'll try and keep in contact with you.
Okay.
If you need to get a hold of me. I imagine I would just add my number to the phone because I know that she probably will not know how to do this, so I'm just going to add it myself. Here's the number you can text me with.
So to call you, I just hit the green phone symbol and then tap your name, correct?
Yes.
And she does it to see if she does it correctly first while you're in front of her.
Just phone starts ringing, just pick it, hang up on it, just
Okay.
Reject the call.
All right, that I can do that, and I'll just play with it and learn as much as I can, so that way I'm not a total bumbling idiot.
Yeah, just maybe avoid looking into Kurt Cobain. If you don't want any sad news.
Okay.
But I'll have to go. I'm quite a little bit busy with preparing for this, but if you need to get in contact with me, now you have a way.
Okay.
And then I'll get up and I'll head out.
When you get up to head out, you receive a text from Avery asking if you would like to have a chat.
I'll respond with okay, but just fully spelled out with a period at the end as well.
Definitely text back like a devil face, just to get Valerie's anxiety.
Valerie's looking confused at this, and then goes to look at the emojis, kind of, and then just finds a thumbs up, and then just click that 3 times, and then just sends it, and puts the phone away.
you, I'm assuming you guys are gonna have your chat at the Haven? Alright. You two both head on over to the Haven and to meet up, and the scene is yours.
Val, do you not know about emojis?
I didn't use phones too often when I was growing up, and I never really found a need to use them. What is this? What's this one supposed to mean? I might just pull up the text with the devil face. Like, is this supposed to mean something? Why'd you send it?
Honestly, I was just trying to make you worried.
Made me confused. But
Close enough.
You want to have a chat?
Yeah, actually. Things have gotten a little bit crazy for our coterie. When it was just, us chasing around a White, didn't seem so bad, but now that we seem to be on a suicide mission, I thought maybe it'd be better if the two who couldn't get along could have a sit down and a chat and maybe build a connection or whatever.
I'm actually surprised by that. The whole time you have rather shown distaste of me in general.
I mean, you too, so...
Fair, I suppose. And I guess it's also a good time because I was going to ask you something, but we can wait on that one a bit more of later on. But build a connection, huh? I guess you go first.
It was hard for me. But I would like to apologize for most of the times that I, lashed out at you. And River, she says, looking over at River.
He kind of looks over from the kitchen and just like waves it off like, I'm used to it.
Apology accepted, I suppose. I try to apologize when I can, but I know sometimes I get caught up. But I do apologize for some of the way that I have lashed out as well. I try and be a bit more control of it.
I mean, you're not wrong on a lot of levels. I think it's probably just a young Brujah thing to, get it in our head that something needs to be done, so we just do it before actually thinking it through.
It may sound surprising, but I understand how that feels. You're not the only one who has a little bit of a rebellious streak. Why do you think I'm here? You think I came here for just trying to establish another system? I'm trying to get out of my own system. One that I was put in originally. Which is why I was rather upset with the comments about calling me a typical Ventru and seeing me as one, as I tried rather hard to distance myself away from that.
I don't know what it's like to grow up like a Ventru. So, I mean, I really shouldn't judge you too hard. I understand you guys are all about like lineages or whatever, but you guys are all about control, and Brujah are rebels, rabble rousers, punks, all those names that they call us.
Well, that's what they say about our clans, but we are not our clan. We are individuals. We are our own beings. Why I'm trying to distance myself from that. And the matter of control, at least from what I have said, is not necessarily a Ventru teaching as much as you may think. It's, I guess, to explain a little bit, I come from a specific lineage, Mithras.
Wait, like the fertility god?
Fertility god, sun god, a lot of purviews that he falls under.
Mithras.
He also embodied law, order. While being raised, I was picked out to be a new addition to this lineage. And many of their lineage worship him. He is a god. And I was a part of this religion, part of this cult. I was brought in to continue worship of him. And one of the things that Mithras really is important to Mithras' teaching is control of oneself, your environment, and controlling people around you, the government, local politics. That is more where that arises from.
Well, I guess we can have one thing in common here. We were both raised in a cult.
What about you? Where have you been raised? What religion have you been brought up in?
I was raised in Chicago during my mortal life. Just, regular, like a very fundamentalist church. Very everything I'm not. Conservative, moral, according to them. Humble. I'm definitely not humble.
I noticed.
The term that's not slutty, the opposite, a prude. Prude? No, yeah. A bunch of prudes. Not good people. A lot of down here in Florida that came down here to fight against are very much like them. That's why I moved to Omaha, was to get away from them. Like, UNO was the first university to accept my application, and I figured it was far enough away from Illinois that should be fine. Honestly, Omaha's pretty liberal considering where it's at, but whatever.
What do you think about the religion itself after being brought up in it? Do you still believe in it? Do you still...
No. How is there a God? Oh, we exist. If everything was made by God like they said, then why monsters?
When it comes to Christianity, that is true. I find that often people can misconstrue a teaching or push it to a new extreme that shouldn't have not been pushed. I can't say that I necessarily do not believe in Mithras. I believe in his teaching of his divinity, of his actions, but I had to get away from where I was because they wanted me to be essentially a puppet, to be the next in line, to be exactly like them, to be a typical Ventru, but I couldn't do that. I unfortunately realized that too late. I couldn't escape what happened to me, escape them taking my life. of everything I had. But after some time, I had a reality check, realized where I was, and didn't like that. So the whole talk of me being worried and scared about them finding me is that I ran away from the cult. I originally was down in Miami, and then De Leon came calling, and now I'm here. I have a debt to fulfill to him of this job, paying back him helping me.
So you already had connections with De Leon. I guess he did kind of mention that the first time we talked, but
Yes, what I'm trying to get at with this is that I understand the whole rebellious draw. I mean, I'm not too different, but unfortunately, I try to maintain a level of control with it. One can't make change if you are just wild, if you do not plan your next actions thoroughly, if you don't make sure everything's in place when you want to enact that change. Because if you act too early or act without thinking, your enemies will find that you make quick work of you. And that's why I'm not opposed to your idea of, equality and the anarch movement, but I try and make you think a bit more about your actions, because I'd rather not see you executed, or your flame to die out before your dreams can be realized.
I understand that. I see where you're coming from. Honestly, there needs to be those behind any movements that can plan strategy and strategize, and then there's those who need, enact these plans for them. I also understand that change is hard, and that a lot of creation can't be done without destruction. I mean, think of the Greek statues, right? They all started off as a block of marble, chiseled and broken away pieces. Consider that a form of destruction. And out of it came something, beautiful, that the world holds dear because of the work it went in to create it. So I think it's the two sides of the same coin here. Planning and preparing, but also the more violent side when it comes to change. I don't think that any change can come without violence.
With your sizzling analogy, I would like to point out the fact that those aren't just wild swings; those are planned, calculated strikes. And that is, I do believe that dramatic action is more often than not the catalyst for change, the actual push for change. I mean, I do not like how the Camarilla run, the trap that is Camarilla, the games that you are put onto. Everyone's a piece to someone. Even here, that still remains true, that all of us are a piece of Sebastian now, or to someone else. And unfortunately for you, that's especially true for you.
Yeah. One last little, grievance here. My debt is my debt. And honestly, I was hoping not to bring it up in the very slim chance that he'd forget about it. And then you opened your mouth.
Avery, if there's one thing that Kindred are good at, is remembering things, remembering debts, remembering slights, remembering what you owe them. What they count, what they use, their currency is favors, is debts. I was trying my best so that you wouldn't have that happen to you, because I know what that entails. I know where that the road ends, what happens to you, and I'll try my best to stop that from happening to you. But
I do appreciate you trying to help me, though. That was probably the thing that really kind of made me want to talk to you. Try to bridge these gaps here. I'm not going to say that we're going to be getting along. I mean, obviously, you and I, we're like oil and water. But, you know, as long as we can get along on what we need to when it comes to the coterie and the impossible task that our fearless leader had decided to give us, then, I mean, that's good. But, I mean, that's that. That's what I want to talk to you about. You said you had something to talk to me about.
I know that our time here is going to be a little shorter, so perhaps I can wait another day, but I was going to not fully get into the details of it now. I was going to ask you about how to be more like an anarch. I'll give you time to think on that. But as you notice, I'm more... All I've known is the Camarilla, how they act, their ways, what I've been taught. When I came here, there was no teaching, there was no education on what to do, how to act. All I've known of the anarchs was punks, biker gangs, people the ne'er-do-wells who just want to cause problems. So I'll give you some time to think on this. I know it's not a very simple answer, but
more simpler than you think it is.
There's a lot that goes into this. I know that being an anarchist is not just being that. It means something, but I don't quite know just yet what it fully is supposed to mean.
Do you agree with the way Camarilla runs things?
If I did, I wouldn't be here.
Right. And do you think that regardless of age or status, anyone should have the free will to do what they want within reason, obviously?
I believe in that as well. That's what I came here for, the freedom to do as I please and not be stuck under someone to be a pawn once again in the game.
Then welcome to the rabble. You're an anarch. That's all it takes. You just have to believe in it. And if you want to get onto the destruction side of things, I can think of a few rather rich-looking cars we could go take a bat to.
If I was just going to look to her flimsy-ass arms, just no muscle at all, and I will have to pass on that. I wasn't built for destruction, however...
Okay, but anyone can swing a sledgehammer and just let the weight of it do the work.
Perhaps one day I'll take you up on that offer, but...
Come on, imagine it. Right, a Bruja and a Ventru freaking riding down freaking roads down like some golf course, just smashing mailboxes and freaking, Teslas and other fancy car names, Lamborghinis.
Tell you what, if we ever find ourselves in the Camarilla territory of either Tampa or down south, then I will take you up on that offer.
Oh yeah, that'll go over real well with the rest of us.
It's about not getting caught. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't get caught.
That really is the name of the game.
Valerie and Avery, you conclude your evening having resolved some of the issues that have been creating tension between the two of you. And we're going to move on to Rex. Rex, you guys were able to procure you a very, good prize of an entire case of tear gas. And it's but they have to lay low a while after getting it. But it's as you're taking stock and admiring the job well done that your boys did that you receive a phone call.
What's good?
You hear a modulated voice coming from the other end. I hear you're the one in charge of a little situation for a certain golden lion.
Who's asking?
You can call me Havanera.
Isn't that like pig or ham or something?
Don't think too hard on it.
Okay. What do you want?
It's not what I want, it's what I can give you.
Okay. What's your offer?
Little birdie told me that you're looking into getting Mr. Golden Lion's product. And I happen to know the exact route the DEA plans to take when they deliver it.
Okay. Miss Havanera, whichever. I don't care.
Havanera is fine.
Okay, Havanera. That sounds great and all. But that sounds like it comes at a price. What is that
Look
price?
at you, already so well familiarized with the game. You're right, it does come at a price. A major price to be paid at a time that I decide. And it's not just owed from you. I would expect the debt to be from you and all of your friends. Miss Wright, Miss Monet, Mr. Elias, and of course that Mr. Gwendael. I know as much as I need to know about each and every one of you.
Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to just agree to something without knowing the price. Granted, knowing who we are helps your situation. Let's say I'll think about it. I'll have to at least talk with them first. Can we agree to that?
Of course, I'm a patient individual, and my number's already programmed onto your phone. Don't worry, this line was encrypted.
I expected it to be. Well, you can, you can expect a phone call, at least by next week. Hopefully.
Of course, Mr. Elias. I anticipate that I will be receiving good news.
Fine. I'll, let you know.
Of course. See you soon. And you hear the line go dead.
Adios. Fuck. God fucking damn it. I all this shit. God fucking damn it. Okay. I'll see what I can do.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Our coterie will reconvene next week, and next session will be just coterie roleplay. So we're just gonna get into it and just get stuff done. Thank you so much for watching us this evening. We very much appreciate all the support we get watching this stream. Please make sure to check out all the great shows here on St. Pete by Night. We have our After Dark this Saturday with Kent and our special guests, and we also have our new stream, Bloody Strings, which is DM'd by, or ST'd by Bera the Bard, our wonderful puppet master of St. Pete by Night. We also have another episode of Rage Across Tampa on Tuesday. And please just make sure to check all those awesome and amazing shows out. We do a lot of good work here on St. Pete by Night. Make sure to hit that follow button, subscribe to our channel, and maybe the more followers we get, maybe we can unlock some special goodies for the fans and for the players to check out. Maybe. But until then, we will see you next week. Thank you again so much for watching, and have a pleasant rest of your evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Rex, throw the cat.
Bye-bye.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Don't Get Caught is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Darkback. The storyteller for Don't Get Caught is Nikki. Tonight's characters were voiced by Izumi, Judikael, Krazaz, and Jay. Visit our website at stpetebynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.